Plaintiff Patrick Vitale says he's been a professional disc golf player for 20 years, and he was recently paired up to play in a group with a defendant. Patrick claims while playing, he and the defendant got into an argument, and after the defendant threatened him, he sucker punched him. So Patrick's suing for medical bills and pain and suffering. Defendant Darren Cooper says on the day of the incident, Patrick was drunk and belligerent, and he initiated the fight by insulting Darren's wife. Darren admits that after Patrick called his wife a derogatory name, he punched him in the eye, but feels it was Patrick's fault, so he's countersuing for lost wages and bail.
Start with you.
Well, Your Honor, I'm a professional disc golf player. I've been playing professionally for about 20 years. I know Darren had been playing for a while, but I had never met him. At a competition, we were paired up in a group, and it was a very noisy group. I take sport pretty seriously. As we got to the fifth hole, Darren's wife, Amanda, thought that I had said something that insulted her when I was in fact speaking with my fiancée, Deanna.
You insulted her instead. First of all, just curious, you're paid on the circuit? So you're
actually,
professionals get paid, right?
I've been #1 in the state of Indiana for probably about 12 years.
Okay. What distinguishes a pro from anybody else, from like me and Doyle going out there playing?
Competition, how well you can throw the disc.
So you just kind of make yourself a pro?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we pro.
Yeah, I want to be a pro. Yeah, that sounds good.
You'll give me some background on your association with the plaintiff, and then we can talk about the assault he's suing you for. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I barely know the plaintiff. I know his reputation more than I know him.
What is that?
He is known as the disc golf Nazi. If you're in his group, you cannot speak. You cannot make a hushed sound, anything. A gentleman pulled his shirt off, and that caused this gentleman here to stop his whole approach, turn around to the guy and say, "Are we done yet?" And then finally get back to it. And as a professional disc golfer, I'm sure that's probably protocol. But I play amateur disc golf, and I'm still respectful. I try my best to be respectful amongst everybody in the group. Just something like a bird chirping or somebody pulling their shirt over their head I don't think that should really, affect a professional disc golfer. I don't think it should. I mean, that's my opinion.
Does it go after the chirpers, you say?
He stopped his whole lineup
chirping
to stop and wait for this bird.
Tell me what happened, and obviously you were referring to him believing you were insulting his wife when you were insulting your own.
Well, I misspoke when I said that. We were actually discussing that the noise that had been going on in the entire group, and when we got to the fifth hole, when I threw, Amanda talked something out really loud, and I threw a bad shot. I didn't say anything to her, anything to the group. I looked back, wondering why there was a noise, and I moved on.
That's a lie.
Go ahead, I'll let you tell your side shortly. And then what?
Then I ended up taking a bogey on the hole, and me and Deanna went to the next hole. Deanna was standing right here. I knelt down and started taking the scores, and I said, "I wish I could just throw without noise." Darren's wife overheard that, and she was about 10 feet behind us. Darren was up about 30 feet up the hill, and Amanda threw whatever bag or something and started screaming and yelling. And then Darren charged me while I was on my knees, and basically just sat over me, threatening me.
And what were you saying? Instead of getting up, walking, what were you saying?
I didn't move because he was so hostile. I didn't want him to react. I said nothing.
You want to make like quick moves.
I just.
You're not supposed to do that.
I don't
when
want.
The dog is
I don't want no
approaching you,
trouble.
I don't know about him. All right, go ahead, sir. Then what happened? You get to what happened? The assault.
Well, I started realizing, what she was upset and he was upset, and I said, "Look, if whatever I said or did to offend you, I apologize. I just wanted that whole thing to stop." And Darren walked behind me, and I could no longer see him, and he sucker punched me square in my temple.
Okay.
And that's what caused the damage.
All right, you have anything you want to show me there? Pictures and the medical bills you're suing for?
These are the pictures.
Sir, let me hear from you. Give me your side.
That was a fairy tale version or something. I don't understand what he's talking. I wasn't standing over him. My wife had whispered something to me because he was taking a while to get in his lineup. She waited for a little while, finally decided she could say something. She whispered to me. He apparently did hear it, and he had a bad shot. After his bad shot, he goes up to where his shot's laying, and he's kicking these things all around, thinking, and he says, oh, people just need to learn how to keep their mouth shut, kicking these logs out of his way. And so then he throws and finishes out the hole. My wife said to him, I'm sorry, I didn't realize you was ready to tee off. And she was trying to apologize to him, and he says, no, people just need to learn how to keep their mouth shut when people are, and it made my wife mad. She was there as a courtesy to me, to be my caddy, just to spend some time with me. She threw my disc bag off and walked away and told him there was no reason to be a I apologize. She told him there was no reason for him to be a D word. And then that was the point when he said, I don't know if he said B or fat B, but I did hear the B word distinctly. At that point, I cleared the 30 paces between us and I punched him square in the eye. I didn't stand over him and say anything threatening, nothing like that. There was no sucker punch behind him. I walked straight to him and busted him right in his eye. And believe me, any man who's gonna send a man's wife off crying better get up off his knee. He was very, very rude the entire day. I didn't punch him because he called my wife a name. I punched him because he had been rude to my wife and sent my wife off crying when she wasn't there for anything but a curse.
He did both, so you shouldn't have done it.
I agree.
But I understand the intensity of your anger. Someone curses a man's wife or insults a man's wife in a derogatory way right in front of him, causes his wife to cry. If that is the case, then I can see how that might happen. It's not right. It's something you may be held accountable for if it causes damages. And you said you hit him in the head, you admit to it, and he shows me evidence of damages. So why shouldn't you have to pay?
I have a report here from the day that shows the man was intoxicated that day. He was belligerent.
Whose report is that? What report?
This was a report from the director of the Disc Golf Association that was there.
I wasn't drinking or belligerent. And if that indeed, I don't know where he got that from.
So $2,000 is the balance on your medical bills, and the remainder you want for pain and suffering. Your counterclaim, $1,524 for lost wages and bail.
He went to the police station like 5 days later. The report, this happened on a Sunday. Come Friday of the following week, the police came to my house and arrested me. I was charged with battery. As I told my attorney, I was court-appointed attorney, and as I told him what happened, I didn't lie to him.
What was the result?
I was given 10 days in the county jail.
Okay, so you were convicted.
I did my 10 days already.
So you were convicted. So if you were convicted of doing something you have admitted to doing, why shouldn't you compensate him for the damage?
Because this whole thing happened as a direct result of his drunken belligerentness, and yes, you were drinking.
But did the judge say that? Did the judge say that because of his drunken belligerence, he should be ticketed or prosecuted or anything? No? Just you. You were the only one convicted.
Me? No. This is what...
Who else was convicted?
Oh, I apologize. Yes, I was convicted.
All right, so that's what we have to go with. The court convicted you for it.
Yes, sir.
And whether you pled guilty or whether you were convicted at trial, you were found to be guilty. Yes, and I'm going to grant him his judgment because the presumption is that you are liable for the civil consequences. And your claim is dismissed because, yeah, you had to post a bail. Yeah, you may have lost wages, but that was a direct result of the crime you committed. All right, good luck to you both. Yours is dismissed because of that, and yours is granted. Have a good day.
Well, all I have to say is he was drunk that day. He don't know what happened. Our story was correct. His wasn't.
He was standing over him, and he was saying that he was going to kill him, and all of these things.
Whatever.
You just try to...
You're going to lie for him, so it doesn't matter.